Which is probably going to be one of the most interactive series on my channel. I'm going to ask a bunch of like really difficult to answer questions, or like philosophical questions, or moral questions, or cool hypothetical questions, that kind of thing. And then I'm going to slowly answer them. Obviously, I'd quite like it if you gave it a shot at answering them, because they're just quite interesting. The name Dinner Table Topics comes from the blog Wait But Why. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's fantastic. It's one of the best blogs I've ever read on the entire internet, and it's hilarious to boot. Like, it teaches you loads of things, at the same time as being really funny and having really good examples. The guy who writes it, Tim Urban, absolute legend. He did this TED Talk, which is, it's good. Check it out. It's about procrastinating. It's really, really, really funny. Yeah, so on there they have a section called Dinner Table, where they ask similar questions to like this, like difficult to answer questions or that kind of thing. Some of the questions from here will be from that blog, and I will always link to that blog section so you can see it and you can see all the comments and all the answers, because it's incredibly interesting. And then some of them will be from my friends, and some of them I will have made up myself. But to start off with, for the first Dinner Table Topics on this channel, my question to you is, if you could have any drawback superpower, what would it be? And what I mean by that is, if you can have any superpower you want, but the bigger the power is, the bigger the drawback is. And you have to have some kind of ailment or drawback which makes you really consider wanting to use the power. So say for instance you choose the power to teleport, the drawback would be that every time you teleport you break a bone. The further you teleport, the larger or more important the bone. Say you jump just outside of your house or just outside of your room, like a couple of meters, you just teleport that far, and then you break your little toe, that bone. But say you jump to the other side of the world and you teleport there, then you break your spine and you have to sit in a hospital bed for 8 to 12 weeks waiting for your spine to be fixed, and in some cases, depending on how far you jump, you'll need surgery to get it fixed. It's that kind of thing. So you have a superpower, but it's essentially useless because of this drawback. I'm going to slowly go through what my friends have said, and it's probably best if you pause the video and come up with something yourself, because it's just a cool thing to think about, you know? So I asked my friends this question, and a few of them came up with some really interesting ideas. One of them said they'd like to have extreme empathy, but the more you use it, the less you can sort of think and feel for yourself, which I thought was pretty cool. You can understand what other people think and feel, but you can't, the more you do it, the less you are you, the less you can do it yourself, which I thought was incredibly interesting. There was another one as well, which seemed quite funny and pointless as well, is that you can talk to animals, but you either don't live near the animals, or animals are just really annoying, so it's kind of pointless, which I find that quite funny. My brother Alex chose to have extreme agility, so you're incredibly agile, but the drawback is that you have really brittle bones. So if you jump from like a 3 or 4 story building, you'll land on your feet, yeah, but you'll break your ankles. I mean, you'd do that anyway. If you were to jump out of the window of like a 2nd floor window or 1st floor window, then you'll land perfectly well like a cat, you know, you always land on your feet, but you will break your ankles. And that's kind of it, short and sweet. That's all this Dinner Table Topics is going to be about, but I'm going to try and do lots of them because I find them incredibly interesting. If you have any questions yourself, or any kind of hypothetical questions, or weird scenarios, or moral, tricky situations, let me know and I'll see if I can pose them and find out various answers to it. And I'll do my best to answer tricky questions as much as possible. But that's it for now. Goodbye. I have to close the window, because my neighbours have got construction work going on, so there's lots of drilling noises. But it's so hot. It's like 30 something degrees. I'm gonna find out how hot it is. Give me a second. It's 26 degrees Celsius, by the way, in Fahrenheit that's this, which isn't that much, but in a city, in London, with all the cars and all the glass and all the people everywhere, it's hot. It's very hot.